Man, how y'all doing? We are live. Feel like young Frankenstein when it's alive. What's up? Yeah, doing laundry. That's never fun. Actually, I don't mind laundry too much, to be honest. Doesn't bother me that much. I'll park that there for now. Get it out of the way. There we go. How's everybody doing? Hopefully y'all are doing fantastic this morning. All right, we got to pull this guy down and out. I got to inspect it, make sure there's no cracks. And we're looking good. All right, let's go ahead and trim it. So this is how I cut this stuff. Hopefully this rod just snaps off like that. Then we'll be able to mount this guy all looking good. And a little base. Bring it over to the side view so you guys can see it a little better. There we go. Oh, too close. Anyway, there's the there's a little dolphin buddy here. How about we go flashlight? So we got the flower, the dichro, the dolphins. This dolphin actually came out kind of cool. I like that gold fume guy. There's the silver. But yeah, that's a pretty piece. We'll mount that up. And it should look good. I don't know. This camera's doing not too bad now. I changed the setting a little bit. Okay, got to set this down somewhere where it's not going to get broken. All right, and we have memorials to do today. Okay. Gives me enough of an assessment there to do what I need to do. Okay, let's get started for the day. Make some memorials. This is the order that we have to do. Hi, Dragonfly. Okay, we're going to go ahead and prep this up. And the first thing we got to do is build the base of it. So these will be 3 2-inch marbles. Then we have to make a glow-in-the-dark pendant. I haven't made in a while. So that'll be a fun one, just because I haven't made it in a long time. It's kind of a cool item. It's like a cosmic swirl. All right, so we're just going to build this up, and I probably should have kicked on the bigger flame. And here we go. How's everybody doing today? Y'all hanging out there? What's up, L to the B? How you doing? Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that. let's get this all built up here. I need to kick on this outer flame before we do the next one. This is taking forever. This is a great flame to work with, but when I know I could get it done faster, it's a little frustrating. We're just building up. I have to build up a little like base marble. And then we can add the colors and the ashes and everything to it afterwards. But I have to build the bulk first. And that's kind of where we're at the moment. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, just about there. All right, we're going to separate this. Next one's going to go a lot faster. Definitely going to speed it up a little. Okay, so this is like the blank. This is how my starting point happens. Just a little bit of a gather of glass. And then we're going to do that 2 more times. And then we'll start the process. And you know what? I've kind of got these kind of prepped in here. This may actually work. I forgot we had these from yesterday. This might go a lot faster at the moment. Let's go ahead and push this into its form. There we go. Oh yeah, way faster. There we go. Yeah, this like speeds it up like double the speed. Bring it back out. A little bit more. All right, we got it much, much better that way. That like took half the time. All right. We're all good to go on this one. We're going to pull the last one out and get that one done, and then we'll get started on making these. These are 2-inch little memorial marbles. They're kind of cool, especially for memorials. All right, we just got to bring it out here and let it cool off for a second before I park it in the kiln to keep it warm. All right, one more blank to go. Sorry, this is the prep work. But this is what needs to be done. This is part of the job. When I tell people, like, this is what you do every day, all right, let's get this gathered up. Hopefully they're not coming for me, fire department. All right, let's bring it in. Little smooth action. And there we go. Next set is all done. I am going to reattach another rod to this, though. This one's a bit short. Makes it difficult to use. You'll be perfect. Let's get that color off there. All right, so we're going to start the memorial process here. And then we will make these into marbles. What's up, Jen? How are you? Hi, Red Squeak. Melissa, how are you? Bayo, how are you? What's up? We got Dragonfly in the house. Kurt, thank you for the bronze medals there. Thank you for the heart news. I appreciate that on TikTok. Okay, let's get started. So this is an oddball color combination that I have to do. But it'll work out. It's going to be, remember that cat's eyes that I had to do before with that cat eye marble? Same process, same person, just traditional marble. But in order to do the cat's eyes, I'm going to have to do this color a little bit different. So we're going to take this lime green, and then we're going to take a little bit of caramel or butterscotch, layer it on top of it, and then blend it, hopefully to still get that iris look. And hopefully the color looks really good. I'm going to get as close as I can to the actual color, but we'll see. Okay, we're going to take that caramel color or butterscotch. This is kind of like a little buttery scotch color. It's literally called butterscotch. To me it looks like caramel, but we're going to thin it out really thin. Like that. And we're going to separate it, and we're just going to put a few lines down. And then we're going to take a little bit of black and put it in there, and then we're going to blend everything. So I'm going to do that kind of finger painting technique in here. Okay, like I said, not much on there on that color. It's really, really strong for a color. We're going to do the same thing with the black. We're going to bring just a little bit in there. Thin it way out. You guys are going to see a little treat here. This part's kind of fun. Okay, you got the black all pulled. Yeah, this part's kind of cool. Don't have to be really, really exotic with the lines here. Okay. So let me show you what we got going on before we get going. So on the side here, you can see these colors all layered down. We got the lime green underneath, we got the caramel and the black all striped down. Now we're going to take this process. Let me move this camera a little bit. There. So we're going to take that, we're going to blend it by a technique that I call finger painting. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It is literally like finger painting. We're going to punch in a little bit. Right about there. I don't know if that is actually clear. You need to be careful. So we're going to take those lines and then just blend it all over the place. Tighten this flame up a little. Then we're going to take the ash from the pet and we're going to put it in. To the memorial. And make it work from there. Okay, a little bit there. The trickiest part is we have to kind of cross over all those different colors. So they all have to cross over each other, or the project doesn't work right. Okay, let me bring it out for you. Now the colors aren't going to look exactly like they will until we get into having it cool off a little, but you can see we blended everything in there now. So now everything's kind of mixed up. We got all those colors blended through that way. So that's all those lines turned into that. So now we're going to take the harder part. We're going to add in the ash, which is in this bowl down here. We're just going to dot it down. Then we're going to take some color, stripe it down on top of that. See, we got a little bit of ash right there. I'm just going to kind of blend it in a little. And this is of a cat, so this is cat. Normally I get dogs, but this is a cat. A little bit right there. All right, let's bring it out. See if you guys can even see it. I don't know if you'll even be able to see the ash in there, but we'll bring it out here. So there is, that's all the ash in there. It breaks down a lot, but you can see all the, there's the ash. See all that little like white looking stuff? That is the ashes in there. That's what it looks like blended in. It is very cool. All right, so for this, I do this in this method now. For this particular project, this is done this way. We're going to take a little bit of white and stripe it down right in with that ash. And then we're going to re-blend everything. Then it's going to hopefully make it look a lot better. Kind of like mixing it in there. It also eliminates the fact that you won't have a texture feel of any ash in there. There won't be any texture of that. I'm going to add a little more white. Needs one section over here. Doesn't quite have that blend that I like. There we go. That looks way better. Actually, you know what? We're going to do ash all the way through. I think it'll look good. It's a little extra bonus for the customer, but I think it'll look better. Just add it all the way through. All right, let me add more white and we'll get it done. Sorry, normally I'd be done, but I think we're just going to do some extra. I think it'll look good. It'll look fantastic. When it comes to doing like memorial glass, we take a little time with that. Let's go ahead and get that all melted in and see where we're at. We'll go from here. And let's take a look and see what we got. So there's the section that has the ashes in it. When we add the white in there, it just adds a little character to it to me. But you can still see some of the ash in there over the place. And then there's this section that we did to match the cat's eyes. So we got all that in there. So from here, we're going to take the moment and we're going to stripe it into a marble. Let me update this PTZ here. There we go. Let's grab a little holding rod here. All right, let's get it into its marble form. Before I go too far, got to make sure it's completely straight. Both holding rods are good. And here we go. So we're going to start with the center portion. About like that. And we're going to work both ends in here, get them melded in. And this should create a nice little spiral on here. All right, got that half done. And then we'll do this other side and we'll start refining this into a very nice ball shape. So we're going to work this section. And here we go. Yep. All right, we are looking fantastic there. Clean it up at the end. Take a little bit of this clear off and bring this color all the way down to the center. Right there. And now you guys will be able to see a little bit of patterning to it. So now we got that spiral stripe going through. And there we got the formation of the marble started. All right, so from here, we're going to start shaping it out. In order to do that, we're going to use the marble molds. And we just bring it in slowly and start manipulating it in there. Nice and easy. And we start getting it round. Yeah, right at that border. Yeah. I was worried. I thought I was way shy of the 2-inch mark, but we're right on it. When you're making 2.5-inch, 3-inch marbles, the 2-inch look a little small. Not used to it. Perfect. And here we go. We got that little spiral going. Man, my camera's a little light today. I don't know what happened to it. We got that little spiral edging in there. You can see it starting to form up now. Let me fix this image. There we go. A little better. Not so bright. How long will it take to fully cool? I'm going to leave it in the kiln overnight. There's no point in taking it out fast, so it'll be ready tomorrow. You know, there's no reason to take it out early. All right, now we just have to get this side all rounded out and we'll be all good to go. There we go. We got it. Spiral it right in. Get that color all built up in there. Right about to there. And now we got a beautiful little spiral. Yeah, it'll stay in the kiln overnight. There's no reason to pull it anytime sooner. So now we got that beautiful spiral. You can see the colors bouncing through there. Kind of has that. I like this pattern. I think it looks unique. For me, it looks good. What's the most expensive thing a beginner glassblower should invest in that makes all the difference? Your torch, believe it or not. This. That and your eyeglasses. Those two pieces of equipment are like Super important. Everything else is functional. You can manipulate. You don't have to have the best of everything. But you should start off with the best torch you can afford. And they're not cheap, so it's not easy to go down that route. Yeah, they are super expensive. Your kiln or your oven, not so primarily. I wouldn't invest a lot in that right now. You can even get like a top-loading kiln, like a little bead kiln, perfectly fine. Usually you can find them on like Marketplace pretty cheap. But if you could find a nice kiln for $200-300, that's a good deal. It just has to keep things really nice. And some of the top-loading kilns, if you take your time, you can actually cut out a little hole in it and make a little bead door in there, or punty door, which is really nice. Okay, I think this one's good. Let me show you guys where we're at. Dragonfly, thank you for the bronze medal. Appreciate you. All right, let's bring this out and see if we got any colors coming through that look really good. There we go. Oop. So you can see those kind of colors all blended in now. But I love these little spirals. See that color at the top up there, that kind of greenish, yellow, blue? That's what the cat's eyes are. I'll see if I can find the photo of the cat's eyes again. These are memorials. So this has ash from a cat in it. Can we pop that off? Oh, son of a bitch. Remember I said don't put it in the kiln too fast? Well, guess what I did? Put it in the kiln. This is why I say don't do this shit. Sorry for my language. So when I put it in there, it stuck to the bottom of the kiln. See that little fuzz nut on the end of that marble? So it's stuck there. Now I got to fix that. It's not hard to fix. It's just a pain in the butt. So when you finish a marble, let it sit for a second. We're going to let that sit for a minute now. Luckily, it didn't do anything to the marble. I caught it in time. There, now it's all fixed. I always tell people, don't do that, because inevitably it will roll on the hot spot. It will always find its way to the hot spot. Some crazy reason. All right, why are you... There, I don't want you spinning around. You're going to fall off. All right, we got to do that again. Let me see if I can find that cat picture, though. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, photos. Let me see if I can find that cat's pictures. I know I photographed it. Oh, there they are. I'll have to do it from the side. Now, I understand the side camera will have a little bit of a different color to it because it's got the tint on it, but you can see the cat's eyes in there. So it has like a greenish. Oh, maybe I can do it from the main live stream. Let's see. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can see those kind of greenish yellow eyes. So that's the color we're replicating. Oh, it's definitely fixable. Yeah, you get little things like that. Again, that was a rookie mistake, unfortunately. I have an AIM, AIM kiln. Okay, let's grab the next chunky monkey here and get this all done the same way. I like AIM kilns. I've never had a problem with them. They've always been workhorses. Yeah. So we're going to bring it down and add in the colors. Just take that comment and go pound sand, dude. Not like I haven't heard that before. What are you, Smacka or something? Can't even read your name. Anyway, here we go. Let's add the color in here. So this is kind of like a lime green, but it does have a yellow tint to it. And it's going to be really, really nice. When it finally cools off with the caramel and all that stuff, it looks good. And a little more. We're going to come all the way across. A little bit more. All right, so this is the lime green we put on. It's very transparent, but when it comes to the other side, it shows up a lot better. We're going to add in the caramel real quick. We're definitely going to have to make more of this for the next one. Then we need the black up here. Okay, definitely going to have to pull more of that. No, glass doesn't transfer any heat whatsoever. It is a great insulator, horrible conductor. All right, so we got all the lines running down, and we're going to take all that and blend it in. I got to keep it moving or it falls. It's still molten and moving. All right, so we take all that and we're going to blend it all together. We just have to make sure we cross every single color here. And there we go. And a little bit on the outside here. Once we get that section done, it's pretty blended. And we create that really nice effect in there. So yeah, we got all the colors blending through now. And then once we stripe it around, it's going to stretch it around even further. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't show it right now, but that caramel butterscotch color will come into play a lot stronger in a little bit, and that green kind of goes away. It doesn't completely go away. It just lightens up the amount that's put in there. All right, so next step is we're going to take the actual cremains, or the ash, which is in this bowl here, and we're going to add it in. And I just kind of blend those in. You never want to have big chunks in there. I know that sounds bad, but you kind of want to spread it all around. Too much cremains in one section actually will create a crack and problem. So you want to take a little bit of those cremains and disperse them throughout the whole piece. I can't tell you how many times I see people just putting big old chunks in one spot. And then they're always like, why is it cracking? Because you didn't disperse it. Okay, there we go. A little bit up here. Got a little bit of cremains left up there. There we go. So this is now fully dispersed. And you'll definitely see it kind of floating around in there. So those little, everywhere it looks white and swirled, that is the ash. You can even see some of those little particles floating around in there, but that's where all the ash is right there. Again, there's the color that we have. There's the cremains. Now we're going to add white in here. And what the white does is it kind of magnifies the effect of the ash in there. Kind of helps bring it out. And then we're going to spiral it around again. And distribute it once more. And we should have a pretty cool looking ash disbursement here. So we got the stripes running all the way. Grab a small rod that I use to mix it and get it all blended. I don't know what kind of caffeine gum I got. I got it off Amazon. But this has to be the best damn gum in the world. This gum has more flavor on it than anything I've ever had before in my life. And it never goes away. It's kind of scary as to what the hell's in it. I know it's a random thought, but hey, I just thought I'd share it. And here we go. This actually looks good. Same way, same process. Everything looks good. Everything's blending perfectly. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take a look at it through the side and see how everything is all blended now. So there's all the part that has the ash in it. It just enhances it, makes it look so much better. A little cleaner, has that really nice, still transparent look. But to me, that looks very clean. I need a longer punty rod. These are not going to work. Well, maybe this will work. Okay, so we're going to attach here. I'm going to bring it in close so you guys can get a little bit of a better view. There we go. We'll bring it in up close and personal for a little bit. So this is how we're starting out. Then we're going to heat it up, push it together. Click on the outer flame just for a second. Now that I got that section, we're going to just slightly push it together. And you'll slowly see it starting to coil around and spin up. But this is real time. We're just pushing it together. And slowly pushing it into its ball shape. Don't want to rush it. We're going to get this kind of melded in this side right here. Okay, and then again, we push it together. Nice and slow. Nothing too strenuous there. Okay, there we go. So we're going to separate this. We got to create a little spiral up at the top up here. So hit that. So it'll match the other one. So I'm going to separate it for a second, let it heat up, then we'll get it spinning. I do some of my work. All right, now we got it pushed together. Got a nice little spiral in there. We can separate it. I'm actually liking these colors. I think they're looking good. So we got that nice little spiral going. Everything's kind of blended nicely. And we just go from there. So we're going to take it and we're going to start making it go into the mold and getting it all solidified in here. Getting it round. All right, so we're just shrinking down right now. And this will transform into the marble. I'm going to actually have to bring it out a little bit. So y'all can see that we'll be using these things here. They're called marble molds. They're made of graphite, or basically high density pencil lead. And it's one of the few materials that will not stick to glass. So graphite or pencil lead will not stick with glass. There's no way to fuse them together. So it makes it really nice to be able to make tools out of it. But they're also very, very brittle. Which is the only drawback. All right, we got a beautiful little half marble. Oh. Got a little tiny spot right here. Little baby spot to fix right there. All right, perfect. There, we got that. So the next step is we're going to attach what's called a punty rod, basically a holding rod to the end. And we're going to finish the other side of the marble off. So we attach it here. And then we're going to round all this off, keep that spiral going. Hopefully it looks fantastic. Bring it down right there. Got that one all mellowed out. Okay, so now we have that little bit of bubblish at the top up there. Little bubble. Got to get that mellowed out into the marble, create the roundness. And then this one will be done as well. So this is a memorial marble. I'm using ash from a cat, someone's pet in here. And so this will have ash permanently embedded in the glass. There's no way of even separating it once it's in. Nice thing is, unlike an urn, if this did get damaged, the ash won't go all over the place. You can literally take all the little glass bits and reform it back into an item if you wanted. But these are so hard to break. It's a marble. I mean, the idea of it breaking is very, very rare. You'd have to work really, really hard to get this thing to break. And there we go, looking good. Make sure we're all round. We are good. So what will happen from here, we're going to use a tool made by Dragonfly Creation in here. She makes the little holders. We're going to use a holder and we're going to separate it from the glass rod and we're going to polish off that bottom end where it's attached right now. So you can see here, got all the colors running through. See kind of that blue-greenish, that green color? That's the color of the cat's eyes. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab that. So we preheat the tool. We're making a memorial marble. So this has ash from a cat in it. I have one more I have to do. I'm going to let that sit before I pop it in the kiln right away. As opposed to the last one, I just popped in there and then it just rolled and did its thing in the wrong direction. Yeah, we're good. All right, one more to go. I can already tell I'm going to need one more of these little glass rods. There we are. And let's thin out the caramel color. Going to definitely need that and the black. Okay, we got that butterscotch color all done. We're going to do black next. And then we'll get started on the last one. And we're going to attach here. That went a little wacky. All right, let's get it started. So this is just a blank gather of glass that we have. We gathered it up earlier. We're going to take some of this kind of lime green. We're going to coat it, then we're going to use the caramel and the black as accents. And we're going to mix it all up and blend them. And that should give me the cat's eye. And so we're replicating the color of the cat's eye as close as possible. So, but we definitely have to lay a lot of color down before we can ever get started. Here we go. A little bit more. Okay, so now we have this lime green down. Is there another to the one you made last week? Yeah, this is the same cat. They just requested a different version of it. So I told them it'd take a little bit before I got to it. Okay, even in there, see that little clear section? There is lime green in there. It's really hard to see right now. I appreciate that, Lemon, but it's based on Venetian. That style chandelier was actually created in Venice right around the 1700s. They didn't even have electricity for it. They used candlelight or oil light. Actually, oil lamps were more popular. But yeah, that style chandelier is very Venetian. I love Venetian glass. Okay, here we go. We're going to add in the black. Okay. Now we're going to show the side view. Like that. And then we're going to blend it all together. Yeah, definitely beautiful to see in person. It was one of the most fascinating things I got to see when we went to Murano and Venice, and I had a great time there. And they were super kind and generous. We got to do a lot of backstage. Not backstage. I guess it'd be backstage. Like we were going through all the stores and factories in Murano. And Stephanie had been wearing a pendant throughout Venice. And they couldn't figure out how I made my pendant. So they were trying to figure it out. But they had respect for the fact that I did something that they didn't. So they were taking me on like these backstage tours that nobody got to see. So I got to see some really old projects, like old glass, that they don't even put out anymore because they're so fearful it's going to get broken. So it was kind of cool having that and getting that type of respect. That was awesome. When you have the Venetian masters giving you kudos, that's pretty cool. Who knows? There might be a collaboration in the future. Maybe. All right, here we go. Got to spin this up. Okay. Go to the side view. And then we got all the colors bouncing through there. So that's how we take all those lines, we mix them up, create kind of like a little chaotic striping all the way around. God, that's bugging the hell out of me right there. All right, so this is the part where you actually add the ash in there. So in this bowl is the cremains or the ash. I can't tilt the camera that far. Anyway, there's the cremains or the ash in there. I don't want to spill it, so I can't tip it that far. We just pick up little bits of it and we start intertwining it and dispersing it throughout this clear section here. And here we go. We just keep adding it in and dispersing it. Took me a while to figure out how much you actually have to put in here. The maximum amount and then the minimum amount, to be honest, too. If you don't put enough, you won't see anything. All right. So we'll bring it back out so you guys can kind of see the ashes incorporated in there. Oop, how about side view? So this whole section contains where the ashes are. I'm going to try and get up as close as possible. You can see all the little, you can still see particles in there of the cremains or the ash. So it's spread and dispersed throughout this whole piece now. And we're going to take that, we're going to disperse white all the way through and kind of spread it through there. I add the white in here because it does enhance the property of making the ash show up a little bit. The cremains are always an off-white color, kind of tannish if you really want to know the truth, most of the time. So when you use a much brighter white like this, like a porcelain white, it makes the ashes pop out a little better. And then they show up. A little more intense. Oops, sorry, side cam. There we go. So now you can see we got everything kind of lined up like that. We're going to take it and disperse it throughout that too. We're just going to blend everything together. Just have to take your time doing this. Make sure it looks really good. Okay, there's one section all done. Here we go. Getting it all finished up here. Last little bit. All right, there we are. Okay, so now we have everything fully distributed throughout this piece. This will be the last marble version we're doing at the moment. But you can see we got the colors running through there, and that'll blend in really nice. And then we got all the ash blending in through that white section. What's up, Daisy girl? No, no, we do a lot more than marbles. That's for sure. Yeah, we definitely make a lot more than marbles. Okay, let's take this and fuse it together, and then we're going to push it in and make the marble. All right, so we're going to heat up. We're going to start with the middle, and we're going to push this together. Start trying to form that ball. Just going to use the afterburner for a second. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to push it together. Like that. Then we're going to kind of round off both ends a little bit. We're going to push them in a little bit more. So we just drop it right in there. There you go. Get it kind of round. Don't need it perfect yet. I just need to get it started. So we're going to round this off, and we're going to get this side perfect. Then we're going to switch it back over and get the other side all rounded out and perfect, and then we detach it, and it's all done. What's up, Deb? How are you? Have you had it drip on your finger before? Nope. So we're going to take that and just slowly start pushing it back together. Keeping that nice little spiral going. Set that down, remove the little bit of excess clear off here. I want to make sure all that color's brought forefront right to the center. There we go. So this is the kind of the shape before we get it into its round marble form. Got a nice little spiral happening there. And we'll keep that spiral in shape for the marble. I do love that part about it. KCH, what's up? All right. Okay, let's get this. We're going to start using the marble molds, which are down here. And they are they're the things that create the marble into its round form. It's made of graphite or high density pencil lead. It's very high density compared to pencil lead though. Okay, we're going to heat it, and we just have to bring it over and start shaping very gently. Don't want to push it too hard. There we go. All right, that end is super smooth. We don't need any more, no more corrections on that. It's good to go. That one is good to go. You can see we got that nice little tight spiral going on in there. I always love that look. I never get tired of it. It always looks so clean to me. How you guys doing? Look like a conch shell? I know, in the beginning it does. Yeah, it definitely has that conch shell look for sure. Before you get it round. So now we just have to trim this off and keep that spiral going and turn it round. That's all. And there we go. Now we just have to get it round. Not that difficult, just have to make sure you take your time. Thank you, Philip, for the laughing disco. Appreciate you. All right. This is going to take a minute longer than I thought. It's okay, though. Being a little stubborn right there. Okay. That I can live with. Okay, we're looking super fantastic here. No flaws. Looks good. I'm happy. Beautiful little spiral in there. And we'll bring in the colors. So that's going to lighten up a little. It's mainly going to be this type of coloring right there. It's going to have a little more brown to it, like right in there. That's going to be the total coloring. Yeah, I like it. I think it looks good. And we just pop it off. Then I got to let it sit for a second before I pop it in there. It's going to end up rolling on the high side and denting like I did the first one. That sucked. All right, let's see if we got the side view here. Man, it's cold. So you can see we got the little spiral going there and that one there. So it's a double spiral. I think it looks good. Has those really nice colors bouncing through it. And then anywhere you see white has the ash or cremains in it. Yeah, anywhere it has that white is the ash or cremains. All right, let me trim up the bottom of this piece. Oops, we did this guy last night. So we did this last night. It came out actually quite good. It's going to get mounted into a base. There. So we got the two dolphins. So there's the dolphin there, and then there's the dolphin there. I love the two colors of the dolphins. And then we got the flower, the dichro down there. And then what's unique about this is it has that side and that side. Two totally different colors. So it makes it look cool. It's a little fun piece. But I have to trim the bottom. So once we take it off the rod, we do have to kind of trim it. Make sure it's not sharp. then when you do this, you definitely have to do this. Otherwise, when you go to trim the bottom, it can kind of bubble out a little bit. It'll like mushroom out, and that part sucks if you don't fix it. Yeah, when that mushroom's out, that's terrible. Okay, let me put this stuff together real quick. We got all these little funky bits in here. I'm just going to take them and put them together, because we'll make this as an end of the day marble tonight, probably. I'll put all these little bits together. So what I do is I take little color bits that we have from the end of the day, and we turn them into marbles usually. So you get all kinds of little random colors bouncing through. Just makes it neat. No two were ever the same, because they are random. So I'm just kind of combining some of these colors that we'll use later. Just picking some up. So like a little bit like that. Great color, just not enough to do much with. Gary, thank you for the jewels. I appreciate that. It went a little crazy. So I take little bits as I'm going throughout the day, and I gather them up, and we'll use them in the live stream tonight. I know we're going to be making a birthday cake for George, Red Squeak's other half. So we're going to be doing birthday cake tonight. Let me pick up this little bit here. It should be fun. I think so. And I don't know, is Jace going to be with us tonight, Dragonfly? Okay, so got a little bit built up. We'll save this for later. Yeah, you do need to text me, Daisy Girl, for sure. All right, so yeah, we take these little bits and we'll eventually turn them into a marble. It'll have this already has 5 colors in it. See if we can bring it into the side. I don't know if it's going to completely show the colors yet. You can kind of see several colors bouncing through. But anyway, we'll take little bits like this and we'll combine them and make them all work out that way. I'm using the Meta Ray-Bans with special lenses in them, custom lenses. All right, until Sunday. Okay. Welcome in from Germany. Where from Germany? Where in Germany are you? Okay, we're going to park this in the kiln temporarily and let it cool off for a second. Before I stick it in there, it'll inevitably right onto the kiln floor. Then we did finish this bird. I don't know. Remember we made this color the other day? We made this the other day. Okay, I'm going to have to ask Stephanie from that. She grew up in Garmisch. I'm going to say it wrong. Garmisch Parkation. I know I'm going to say it completely wrong, though. But remember we did this little kind of color combo on it? I like it. It's a little sparkly. Didn't come out as well as I wanted, but you can see those little blue hints in what blended with it. And then I might do some, we did this one the other day with the uranium. So I don't know. We're going to be working on a couple different colors tonight. So this is like a light uranium. I like it because it's not too intense, but it's got that transparency to it. I didn't want it super green, but I wanted the uranium effect. But we got it really translucent. I definitely like that one. All right, I'm going to take a short break for a little bit and get things settled up here, and I will be back. So you guys hang with me, and I'll see you in a little bit. And let me fix my camera. That's what I need to fix, the camera view.